Okay. Hello, my parchment paper pals. How are you doing? I know it has been a minute. It has been, I would beg to say it's been a minute and a half, 90 seconds. It has been a full 90 I would even say it's been 93 seconds since I've seen you. It has been a while since I've made a video, and there's a lot of things that I wanted to talk about. One being going to Hawaii over Christmas. I was going to vlog that whole thing. I was going to live the daily vlog life. None of that actually happened. I didn't pick up my camera once. So then I was like, hey, I'm going to make a video talking about all the stories and crazy things that happened, like almost dying on when we went surfing. Talk about some spooky things like being in a haunted hotel. But then I was like, oh, it's been too long since it's been like a month since I've come back from Hawaii. I don't feel like it anymore. But you know what? I just had like half a cup of coffee and now I'm feeling like I'm ready for it. So let's get into it. But before I go into that, I want to talk about the two elephants in the room. This is a crowded room. There's a lot of elephants here. One being my blanket scarf I'm wearing. I know if I didn't address it, people would literally think I'm losing my mind. You know what? Do I even need to explain it? I feel like at this point, I just do so many crazy things that people don't even question it anymore. They're like, oh, of course he's being weird. So yeah, of course. It's been negative like 20 for the past like week. It's finally above 0 again, but I'm not taking this off. I'm just keeping my blanket scarf on, okay? So can we just be okay? Other thing is this is so stupid that I'm even talking about this, but I thought I'd talk about it. Came back, new year, and what does YouTube do? This whole like made for kids content thing that's going on. So I signed off on something. I wanted my channel to be made for kids because I'm thinking about my content, what I do. You know, I keep things intentionally clean on my channel, and I keep things like targeted to half my audience is young, so I do take that into consideration. So I signed off of that. I was like, yeah, it's made for kids. Then I came back and I uploaded the kalimba cover of Treasure Chest, and then I saw, oh, my comments are disabled, and oh, you can't do like anything. I had to like click on all the videos and say like, no, this one's not made for kids, this one's not made for kids, which really, it upsets me because honestly I was gonna keep it as like, you know, made for kids or whatever, but then I was like, half the reason I make these videos is literally because of the comment section. Like, interacting with you guys is like my favorite thing ever. Literally, it's half the motivation for why I make videos. Like, I love hearing from you guys, even if it's totally random things. It's fun, like you guys pointing out parts in the video that you laughed at, or just saying hello. Like, I love hearing from you guys so often, especially when I don't hear from random people until I make a video 6 months later, and then someone's commenting and I'm like, hey! It just makes my day. So it just upsets me because like, I'm like, yeah, I am making stuff for kids. My music, I just want to be for everyone. That's just all I want to do. I just want to have fun, and you know what? And I'm being myself on this channel. I've always been myself, and that means just being completely, age friendly for everyone. So you know what? That's my little speech. Anyways, now let's have some fun. So things have changed. I'm wearing a blanket scarf now. I was gonna say like I don't collect candles anymore, but literally my tripod and camera is like on a stack of candles right now, like big candles. But no, I'm not actually collecting candles anymore. I'm collecting like essential oils now. I'm trying to like keep it clean in more ways than one. My content is made for kids, everything's clean, but I want my lungs and my body to be I just want no chemicals going into me as much. So that's why I'm getting essential oils, and they're really fun. And I have eucalyptus coming out of this diffuser right now, and it's so great. I got this for Christmas. I'm so excited about it. You don't know what I'm pointing at. It's on the ground because I noticed when I put it on the ground, it like actually flows up compared to like I had it on my desk, and then like all the diffusing stuff would go above my head, like most of the jokes that I'm gonna be sharing. So I'm not doing candles. I'm gonna probably make, since I'm finally gonna like ease off the whole candle collection thing. Right now is probably gonna be my biggest collection of candles right now. So I'm thinking my next video I might do a candle collection haul showing you how many candles there is, and just make an entire video just showing all my candles. Comment below if you want that. I don't know, I'm running out of ideas. But yeah, I'm really happy today. I'm happy to share some of the stories. I'm happy to share some spooky things. I've been wanting to... Okay, I'm gonna go into it. So yeah, I almost died when I was surfing in Hawaii. So let's backtrack. When I went to Hawaii a couple years back with my family, like for the first time, I went surfing. We learned how to surf. Me and my sister, we took surfing lessons, and it was a lot of fun. And I learned how to do it. And then we rented some boards, and I got so much distance. Like I was able to like get up, and I went flying. It was so much fun, and just like that feeling of literally you're paddling and then you kind of like feel it come from underneath you, and it just like picks you up, and you stand up, and you just fly, and you're just going across the whole, just watching the whole beach come towards you. That feeling was just like unlike anything I've ever experienced. Like it was insane. So I said, when I go back to Hawaii this time at Christmas this year, I am going to do that again. And I'll be honest, I did do it again. And I got even more distance, and it was so fun. It was so nice. And when I was going, it was like, kind of like, I probably was like on it for like a full like minute and a half. Like I was just like going. But, because like, the wave was like stopping and calming down, and then another wave like came and picked me up, and I was like, let's go, round two. So that was really nice. That made up for almost dying, which happened later. So I was like, I want to get those big waves out there. So I started like paddling. I was going like further and further out, and then I was like, okay, I'm far enough out. I'm just gonna like kind of like gonna sit here and and if I don't catch a wave, then I'll just like let the waves take me back in, you know? That's probably how things work. You just sit on your board, and the current will just take you back to shore. No, that's not what happens. The opposite actually happens. I was getting pulled out further and further without even realizing it, because what am I doing? I'm facing the actual ocean, being like, where are the waves? Are the waves coming? Oh boy. Then I turn around and I'm like, I don't see anybody anymore. All the surfing buddies that I was making friends with, they're all gone. They're all like way, way back. And then I look at the beach, and I look at the hotels, and like all the hotels lined up on the beach, and I'm like, those are really small. I was probably about a kilometer out from shore at that point. And then I start freaking out. I'm like, okay, now I've got to catch a wave, because there's no way that I'm going to be able to paddle all the way back. Spoiler alert, I had to paddle all the way back. Did I think I was going to die? Yes. Was I ready for it? I wasn't scared I was gonna die. I was more scared that I was going to literally, like, I was getting into some corals that, like, I saw some waves, so I was, like, paddling towards those. I'm like, there's always waves coming up there. And then I realized why, because it was so shallow. It was, like, a shallow coral reef with, like, spiky rocks being, like, so that was scary. Meanwhile, my two cousins, one of them, he caught a wave, and then I'm watching him go. He's going, and then you see him, like, the wave kind of goes over him, and then I'm like, oh, is he going to stand up? Is he going to stand up? Then I see his board just go like this, and he goes flying, and he lost his sunglasses. My other cousin, he, like, threw up like 5 times. So, overall, great experience. Lots of stories, lots of fun times. I won't tell their stories because I don't think I would do it as much justice. I can only tell my own stories. I can only speak from experience. But yeah, honestly, it was I don't regret it. I don't it was fun. It was a good experience. It tells good stories. We didn't do it again. We were going to rent boards a second time, but then we were like, no, let's not. So yeah, that's one story. The other Hawaii story that I wanted to share. Now this is where things might get a little spooky, so if you're not into the spooks, then you might want to turn it. No, please don't turn this video off. I won't make it that spooky. I need the views. So we were walking around at night, like we always. I mean, and by night I mean like 6 p.m. because it's the sun sets in Hawaii like so early. So after dinner we'd always go walking around, not the village, like all the hotels, the resorts and stuff along the beach. And there was this one hotel we went in, and it's called the Royal Hawaiian. And the thing is, these hotels, they're so old. They've been around for basically 100 years. We went in the Royal Hawaiian, and I think I was told that it's the hotel that like Elvis Presley used to stay at. It's huge. It's beautiful. It's old. It's pink. Like it's the walls are pink. It's crazy. It looks like there's so much history behind it. So we went exploring, we went inside, and we found this, in one of the buildings in the Royal Hawaiian, there was like this old elevator, and we went in it, and it was like, oh my gosh, this feels like the Twilight Zone, like the ride at Disneyland. We're going inside, like we're gonna get transported to the Twilight Zone, and the doors as they closed are like, the buttons were like old, and like the metal was like old and like, you know, copper, and we were sneaking around kind of like, I don't know, we're not guests at this hotel, so we're kind of like being sneaky, right? So we're already in that kind of state of mind. We get to the second floor and the doors open up, it's like and then there's literally just like a table like on the far wall, just like facing us, with like that old-fashioned like phone, like the ones that are like, they look like a banana and they're black, like those old-fashioned like ring-a-ding-ding-ding. I'm not doing this any justice, but you know, those like old school like goes from your ear to like here thing phones, and it's so old looking, and we just like come out and we're all just like, if that phone rings, if that phone starts ringing, we're dead. But we step out and we're like, guys, this is like the Stanley Hotel. Like we all just got chills. We're like, this is so creepy. So yeah, then that made me go downward spiraling. I started thinking, I'm like, maybe this place is haunted. Wait a minute, some of these hotels are so old. Maybe, I wonder if this one... So I started researching, and I found out that the Royal Hawaiian, of course it's haunted, but then I found out that the Moana Surf Rider is another hotel. That's also along like the whole strip of hotels there, that we were exploring every night, and we'd already been there, and I loved it, and it's nice. It's even older. It's actually the first hotel that was ever built in Oahu, and it's been around for like over 100 years, and they haven't changed. Like the outside looks so old. It is so cool. That's even more haunted, and there's a whole story about like what happened, and it's crazy, and it's dark and it's sad, but I was like, we need to go there. So me and my family were like sitting at the Cheesecake Factory, we're like eating dinner, and they're like, what do you want to do after? Do you guys want to see like the hotels? And I was like, can we go to the Moana Surf Rider and see like the historic museum? And they're like, oh yeah, like that's a great idea, like that's, you know, it's really important to learn about the history. I'm like, I just want to go hunt some ghosts. So we did that. We went, the second floor had like this like museum thing, and it was really cool and interesting, but me and my cousins, we snuck up onto the top level, and oh my gosh, we were walking down the fifth, I think there's 5 floors. We were on like the top floor, I think it was the 5th floor. We were like walking, and this hotel is so old that there's not air conditioning, and so they have all the windows like open like this much, like all down the whole hallway, like the long hallway that just goes. And me and my cousin were like kind of at the very end, because we walked off the elevator to the end of the hall, so we're just like facing down the entire hall, and literally we start walking back, and then suddenly there's just like this noise and this like vibration that just like comes and sweeps over like the whole thing. It like comes through the windows, like all of like, and it makes the classic like ooh, like ghostly sound, and we're just like, this is insane. Like, is this happening right now? And like the walls are kind of like shaking a little bit. We're like, wait, for like a split second we're like, what on earth is happening? And then we hear like from outside, it's like a motorcycler like revving his engine like really loud, and just the way that like that sound, like the frequencies were coming through those open windows, just like it just felt super creepy for a second, and then we realized what was actually going on. We're like, oh, okay. So this kind of leads into what I was going to make a video about one day. Like, I was going to do it back in like Halloween, because I was going to make a whole spooky video about this, but then I was like, how much attention do I really want to bring to this? It's not that big of a deal, but it is kind of a thing. I'm not sure that this place that I'm living at is haunted or not. There's some things that have been happening since I moved in that make me think I'm going crazy. One of them, like the first thing that I thought was like, like thinking that this place was haunted was like, I would, well, sometimes I would just like see things and I'd be like, no, I'm losing my mind. Like I'd see like a shadow or something, and then I'd be like, oh, I think it's somebody, and then I'd look and then I'm like, there's nothing there, like that shape wasn't there. But that's probably just me in my imagination, because you know your boy. But then there would be like, I remember the one time where I got like so freaked out was like when I was like washing dishes, and we had a broom like leaned up against like the counter, and for no reason, like I had not gone over there, like there hadn't been like people, like nobody had used that broom for like probably a while, right? And I'm just washing dishes. I didn't even like breathe near it, and it just like falls, like out of the blue. It just falls while I'm doing the dishes, and I'm like, it falls like right next to me, and I'm just like, how did that just happen? So there was that. There's been times when, and this is going to make me sound so crazy, but I was out on my balcony here, and it was back when, like, okay, right now there's like no leaves, like the trees are dead, because it's middle of winter literally, but there was like birds and crows and like stuff, and they're like caw, 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 all around in the trees, and I'm like just kind of watching them. And then I'm sitting there like eating my bagel or something, and then all of a sudden, like right behind me, I just hear like it comes out of like the back of my ear, just like this, like Kah! And I'm like I turn around, I'm like, there's nothing there, right? But I'm like, what? So there's ghost birds here. I don't know. And what's been happening recently is like my clock, I have like a projection clock, so like it's a clock, it's a normal clock with like the time on it, but then there's like a little projection light, and it like projects onto the ceiling, and it says the time in the middle of the night, so I can see, oh, it's 4 a.m, haha, cool. It's supposed to just stay on 24/7, like, but every time, like, I'm always like, why is it off? It keeps turning off for no reason, so I keep turning it back on, and then it turns off like literally a minute later. I'm like, and it's always like when I'm not looking at it, I'm like turning it on. So I think whatever is like haunting this place literally doesn't want me to know what time it is, so that I literally miss my classes and fail. So that's fun. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's a lot of it's just like in my head, and I think the more you talk about these things, the more you realize like it's pretty crazy. And also the more attention you bring to it, the more it becomes real. Like, I feel like everything that's been like a scary internet trend has just like come to life because of like how much attention you bring to it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, things don't exist unless you like acknowledge that they exist in a way. You know, does that make any sense? Sometimes that's true. Maybe that's not true, but I feel like there's some truth to that. But yeah, so hope that wasn't too spooky. I don't necessarily believe in ghosts and stuff. I just find that stuff really interesting. I love spooky things. I love watching scary things on Netflix. I love conspiracies. I love just things that don't make sense. Because it makes me feel like, well, the rest of my life doesn't make sense. At least there's other stuff that are going on beyond my life that also no one can explain. So I don't know, maybe that's assuring. Maybe that's why I'm so interested in that kind of stuff. Before I go, I want to show you what else is new with my life, and that is this guy. His name is Sarge. If you've seen the movie Cars, you know that he's an army truck that talks, and that's basically, you know, what else could you want in life? He's great. I got him at Walmart. They come in packs of, like, you don't know what you're getting. And then I was like, I hope I get Sarge. If I get Sarge, literally, I'm going to be so happy. And I got him, and I freaked out. So that's him. He's and this is his house my friend built for him. If you can see, that has a star on it with his little, so he sleeps in there. There's that. And then I also have this thing I got from Hawaii. It's like a snow globe, but it's not. It's more like just water and sand and seashells in a glass ball. So a snow globe without the snow. It's just a globe. But I love it because I think this is better. I think this is like the underrated version of a snow globe, because literally I want to see, maybe this will sound terrible, I'm sorry, I'm trying some ASMR out, but I'm gonna try it. Can you hear that? Anyways, sometimes I just put this, and it's like, it's really good to have these like sensory things. If you're having anxiety and stuff, it's really good to have some things that ground you. And this has visual components, it has audio component, and touch, whatever you call that, a touch component to it. I don't know. So I think this is better than a snow globe. It's small, it fits in your hand, you can shove it in your pocket, you can bring it around, show your friends at school, be like, check out my globe, and they're like, don't you mean a snow globe? You're like, nah, it's just a globe, and it says Hawaii on it. So yeah, I got this in Hawaii, and I was like, this is gonna be great for my self-care kit, which I haven't made, but this is it. This is all I have. So yeah, I think that's everything. I think that's basically all I wanted to tell you. Yeah, there's a giant Eggo box. Okay, yeah. I'm showing it now. Okay, I have a giant Eggo box. I bought 72 Eggos. I'm trying to be dairy-free, and there is dairy in Eggos, so that's the thing. I'm gonna make a video eventually about my dairy-free life, why it's worked for me, and how easy it actually is. If you don't buy 72 Eggos, it's very easy. But aside from that, that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I had fun making it. I hope. Please comment. I don't really care about anything else. I just want to hear from you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support and for being you. Being one. Oh, here we go. Being yourself. Being yourselves. Being one of a kind. And I like you just the way you are. In the words of Mr. Rogers. Let's end it off as we always do by saying, and so